Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Women Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Oh, okay, so MAGA is just going to bigot. MAGA is just going to bigot. That's what they need to have on their hats. It's like they say, "Make America." Yeah, and they're not. They're proving that majority of them. See, I didn't say all. I said majority. In my opinion, it's mostly all. It's well, technically it is all, but because some of them try to make excuses around the bigotry, some of them try to say it's not bigotry. It's not. No, it's bigotry. Back up. Okay, like let's pretend we're on the Monopoly board. Go straight to jail. Don't pass go. Don't collect your $200. It's bigotry. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So there's this one, in my opinion. Again, I repeat, in my opinion, there's a straight up bigot named RayRay. And yeah, watch this video. But he thinks he's so macho and alpha just because he claims to be willing to fight. And maybe this is just coming from a sapiosexual, but yeah, I like when men know how to prove their point with words. And this is one reason why most men hate me because I prove my case with words, with evidence, and things to back up what I have to say. This is why a lot of, especially megas, hate my point because remember, if you've been listening to my videos, episodes, and everything like that, you already know about Mr. No Heart and that every time Mr. No Heart would literally tell me I had to go and visit his no good, bigoted family. In my opinion, they are no good, heartless, bigoted, just ruthless, poorly educated people. And these people brag that they never had to learn or teach African American history all throughout school. They brag that they only had three minority students in total of K through 12 and that they were all in the same family. They bragged about this. And yes, it's like I dated this guy, but I met him in the metro of Detroit, so I didn't know about the ignorance. I didn't know about the bigotry. I didn't know about the just all out hatred for people that are different than themselves until later on the relationship. And then when I tried to show how they needed to learn and open up, my ex told me that I could no longer talk about politics anymore to the family, even though the family members would literally wait until my ex left the room. And then they would pull out their phones and get on Facebook and look up my account and look at what I posted so that they can start trying to prove me wrong. But then they felt dumb. And the reason why my ex told me I was no longer allowed to talk about politics to them was that they got so upset because I proved each and every single one of them wrong every single time. And when I say I proved them wrong, I proved them so wrong. And I think that's one reason why during COVID, I used to do the streaming on Plenty of Fish and Scout and Meet Me and everything because I'm, let's see, I'm a introverted extrovert or an extroverted introvert, whichever. I'm one of those. And so I needed to talk to people. I needed like other opinions and thoughts and things like that, but I did not like, yeah, let's just say, the population on the stream. They, it's like some people probably judge me because of my standards episodes when I list my standards. It was because of that app. And so many men who were incarcerated, so many men who told me that I wasted my money on education and that the man is supposed to be educated and that women who don't concentrate on having children are selfish and mean and oh, the stupid, idiotic things they would say. And then me wanting to adopt, a lot of them said that I, instead of adopting, I should just take care of their children. And when I say, well, I want to adopt so I can have children, and they say, well, those aren't going to be my children, and I'm not willing to take care of kids that are not mine. But when you think about it, their kids are not mine. Yeah, yeah. But they weren't. But then when it gets to politics, the politics, talking about minimum wage, do you know how many of these conservative men would say, I don't care if they turn out homeless. That's on them. It's like they ended up being lazy because they didn't know how to look for jobs. But then, yeah, it's a whole mixture of guys. Not all of them went to prison, but some of them went to prison. And there's one specific guy that had gone to prison, right, Zach? Right, Zach? Who told me that minimum wage doesn't matter, and especially the national minimum wage. It was stupid, doesn't matter, whatever. And so when I would start going over some of the issues with minimum wage and also minimum wage for people with disabilities, he would laugh, and then the MAGA people who were going coming into the stream, they would be laughing at me like, if you've been watching the episodes, reading the screenshots, you would see that some of them who are calling me stupid and that I don't know what I'm talking about, they were going into the stream and listening to me. Like one of them even wrote, "Oh, you want to harp about the minimum wage? You're so stupid." And it's sometimes they comment on Biden because I would talk about how when President Obama and Biden were in the White House together, and how Republicans stated that it's like since Republicans were, I think it was the House. I don't think they had Senate in the House, but I know they had one of them, and they would brag saying, we're going to make sure we vote every single thing that President Obama puts up down. And when one of them tried to call me a liar, he talked to the, like, especially be careful when you talk to black women, because we know, like, when we're going to bring up a subject, a lot of times we already know how to get the resource to show our evidence. And so when I pulled up the government website and I started reading off like the date of different legislation during President Obama's time, and how the Republicans were the one that voted it off. And then when they said, oh, you don't know if it was Republicans, so then I would click on the link that showed the votes and who voted for what. And then I could list almost every single, or I could list every single Republican, but I read off the most popular ones, especially the ones that he would sometimes like, oh, here's another one. Okay, I got to give this piece of evidence. But even when President Biden was in the White House and he was stating how MAGA was like, when, well, if they got back into office, they wanted to take away Medicaid and take money away from those. And Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert, they yelled out, liar! Who's the liar now? See, that's the hilarious part. That's the hilarious part. So many of the things, like people keep saying Biden didn't do anything, but look at how our economy after COVID was one of the most successful compared to almost any other country in this world. It's like if you try to compare it, and then it was just going up, it was improving and going forward. And some of the things that he wanted, like some people, like he didn't get that much done. Guess who voted a lot of the things down? But then also, when a lot of the things needed a tie break, Kamala broke the tie. And so when Lauren Boebert and Taylor Greene were creating commercials about, look what I'm bringing to the country. Oh, this is thanks to me. I did this. No, you didn't. It's crazy. They voted against some of the money to like help out with the bridges and infrastructure and things like that. They voted it down. But then Kamala Harris broke the tie. Broke the tie. And so you should not be thanking your Republican representative a lot of the times. I'm not saying it's all of them, but it's a lot of them. A lot of the ones, especially who create the commercials, bragging about it, but they're bragging about them. They, hmm, I think by law, I wish by law they had to show their vote because they will brag about it, but they won't show you the full truth. But when I was talking about the things that happened during President Obama's presidency and how the Republicans were doing, he kept trying to call me a liar. Oh, but the more I was pouring out the evidence, oh, he was hating on me and I was loving it too. I'm just saying, what else you got? What else you got? You're not going to invite me over to your house again to do different bow chicka wow wows, are you? Are you? Are you? Oh yeah, because he kept trying to, oh, after I play golf, after I do this, you should come over. You can chill. Oh, I'll pick you up. But then I would have to remind him, you're conservative, you're Republican, and you're for, like, you don't care about the homeless. The homeless don't care about me. Mm, mm. And, well, I hope that lays out enough evidence of where I'm going because this one, like in the video, I think his name is RayRay, Ruru something, but he was doing all this talk and then having the nerve to call like liberal, progressive, democratic men boys when, in my opinion, a real man will stand up for the homeless. A real man will stand up for the veterans and also call out when a president calls the wounded people who protect our country losers and things like that. That's despicable, awful, inhumane, and shows the poor education, but also it shows how much they basically depended on those bone spur diagnosis. Isn't that right? Isn't that right? And so we have this guy calling people on the left boys, and then he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna like I'll fight you," but it's like I have such a large following. And I mean, he was just going left and right with bragging about I got this, and they won't fight me, and I bet they won't fight me, and all this other garbage. And oh, something beautiful happened. Something absolutely beautiful happened. But my main question, what what's the point of winning a fight? Like, is that going to help either side? Is that going to straighten out the immigration? And that's another thing. So that's another topic that they don't want to talk up to me about. And I know I hardly have a following and everything, but if he ever wants to verbally go at it, I'll tell him to try me. Try me. I bet he can, it's like he won't be able to handle me. And if you've been listening to my episodes, you know how many times and how much information I show in all the articles. Like when I do my research, I do it thoroughly. And that's one of the reasons I'm a Democrat because I am educated and I know that especially with the LGBTQ community, we got to protect them. And it's like as an African American, it's like a lot of people want to say get over racism or black people always want to bring up race and things like that. And then we have people of other like in the brown community or people of color who then they want to go mm, they want to always like I don't know, it's like especially black women were always the butt of the joke and or they will always want to stereotype us and things like that. But then when they see our fashion, when they hear our music, when they hear a lot of our talents and things like that, they will find any way to be a part of it. They will find any ways to steal it. Because that even reminds me of that one TikToker girl who could hardly dance and keep on beat or whatever. But then she ended up on Jimmy Kimmel getting all this credit for doing all these dances. But then the African American like influencers who the originators of these dances didn't get the credit that they were due until after. I repeat, until after. And then that also kind of reminds me of even Elvis. But I mean, okay, different subject for a different day, but it's just he does not know what he's talking about with this RayRay guy. It's like he thinks it's just so funny, like, oh, I'm gonna fight these men. Oh, like, no, no, let's debate. Why don't you find somebody to debate with, talk with? Let's see how much your points are proven. Let's see how strong mentally MAGA is. MAGA wants to like brag about, oh, how much of a Christian they are. Why don't you debate the pastor? Like, no, no. Let's go Democratic pastors versus Republican pastors. Oh, that Oh my God, that would be the debate of a lifetime because Mega wants to say how hardcore they are with Christianity and everything like that. But if you see what's going on with immigrants, if you see what's going on with women, when you see what's going on with people of color and black people, when you see what's going on with the poor and the homeless, when you see what's going on with people with disabilities, but it's just so, and then even DEI, they're so scared of DEI. And then when someone makes a mistake in DEI, oh no, it's because of DEI. But oh no, when all of a sudden uninvited guests are in a text message, yeah, that yeah, you won't, yeah. And then it happens again a second time, yeah, and I don't know, it's just now that I'm thinking about it, I would love. Hmm. You know what? Is if anyone following can either recommend this to someone because yeah, I know my channel's still at the bare bottom of it all, but that would be the debate of a lifetime. Because when you have some of these pastors, because there's that one jerk of a pastor, in my opinion, he's an absolute no good, bigoted jerk of a so called pastor. He was all going around his church. I don't care what you think. It's like, it's like if you're Christian, you're Republican, and if you're gonna vote for the other side, get out of my church. And he's like he did something like that. It's like he has one of these like outdoor tent types of churches in the South or whatever. I don't know what state or whatever, but it's like he has quite a few sermons where he's going up and down just talking about if you're Christian and then you're MAGA or you're Republican or whatever. And I remember even doing other debates and talks. I remember I was on Wisdom, but they changed the name of their app, but then they literally, yeah, let's just say that app is, in my opinion, that app is garbage and no good and corrupt. And yeah, yeah, I'll tell everything about that one later. But they renamed themselves, so they don't care. But I remember like I would do my talks and everything like that as a Democrat progressive Christian. And there would be MAGA Christians getting on and then they would want to debate with me, talk with me, but then their first line is, how dare you? If you're a Christian, you're supposed to vote Republican. And it's like, how are you going to go against Christ? They would have the nerve to say that. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to talk all about that later because yeah, the way MAGA tries to like just get in, but then They don't know what they're talking about, so then they basically just look like absolute stupid idiots, which I enjoy it. I absolutely enjoy it, but yeah, it's pretty sad. Um, but even, but okay, you guys tell me what your opinion, like, what would be the best type of debate? Because now I keep thinking about the liberal versus conservative pastors going against each other. And I also want to do conservative and progressive or liberal teachers because I have met some horrible, awful conservative teachers and some of the idiotic things they say very highly. Like sometimes I'm just like, how did you get a degree? You're this stupid. You're this idiotic. Really? And then even doctors, because there are mega doctors. And it's like you studied science, but you think this, but then they allow you to have patience. I'm running out of patience listening to your idiot type of like propaganda. You're stupid. That's in my opinion. All in my opinion. But I run out of patience with these people who are allowed to have patience come through their door. Who? It's like, yeah, okay. Anyway. But at the end of the day, you have RayRay who's kept saying that he wants to be like fight these liberal progressives, like, and he called them boys, and basically trying to belittle them, belittling them for having a difference of opinion. And you know what? Yeah, I'm probably doing the same thing because, well, I get tired when conservatives put me down for either my disability, because I've even had people in public, conservatives, tell me that I just need to pray about it. I need to pray the disability away. And or with being a minority or being a black person, I've heard them say so many awful, terrible things, especially my ex's mom. You only got into college because you're black. It's like, how did you get in college? Oh, you only got that job because you're black. And it's like almost anything and everything she said was because I'm black. I remember the time when I said it to her youngest daughter, and I remember she like spit out half of her. I forgot what kind of drink. Like it was a beer or a wine. I forgot which one. But I was just like, "Oh, is the only reason I'm dating your son is because I'm black?" And it's like I said it just like that. And I remember she spit out her drink, like, because like everything that I got in my life, she said I only got because I'm black. And so it's like since I'm dating your son, yeah, you don't want to be in a disagreement or argument with me because you're not gonna like the results. And so, and it's funny how this guy, he had the nerve to say he wants to fight these people, and but these men are strong enough or they're too scared to. And but then one after another responded to him, bigger, stronger, like wittier, and more dominant, more of a manly man that he'll ever be, because liberal men, most liberal men, because there are who, I'm just like, huh, define liberal, define, progressive. But anyway, at least they're for all of humanity. And at least they're not scared of a drag queen. At least they're not scared from people of different, like minorities or people of color or black people. At least they're not scared of a female boss or a leader. At least they're not scared of women who don't want kids or who want kids in a non-traditional way. That's a real man. Someone who, one, minds their business, but let us mind our own. And also, if you're a Christian, okay, do you, boo, stay in your Christian lane. But it's crazy how One thing that I've even noticed with a lot of the Christian community, they keep saying, oh, well, they're bringing the LGBTQ everywhere. It's all around us. It's all around us. Um, Actually, no. But at the same time, with all of the traditional relationships, there's so many movies where it's like, okay, romance, 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 like man, woman, like Hallmark Channel, Disney, like every type of show you see, majority of them, man, woman. You try to promote that, and then so many of the movies, it's always the woman leaving everything behind for a man, leaving a city to go to the small town for a man. And then I see it in real life, and the man screws her over, cheats on her, does her wrong, or maybe even she ends up with the black eye, and you know, or 6 feet under because of him, you know. But it's just amazing how there are some things that are traditional, but then people are so scared or in fear of LGBTQ when a lot of times, but then they don't really want to cover when women are scared of men, or men always want to blame it on women on what we wear, how we act, if we're out, or how we look. And a lot of conservative men, they want the liberal women, but only to convert them into being conservative because they like certain parts of a liberal woman, but they want that liberal woman to be submissive and follow their orders. So they don't really want liberal women. They just want a very, hmm, I need the proper words, but yeah, they want a conservative woman who dot dot dot. It's like maybe even more, mm, maybe a conservative woman with a liberal heart, or I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. But at the end of the day, it's just kind of amusing with how this man thinks he's just going to be so strong, so tough. He's going to be a man because he's threatening to beat up other men. But then when men respond, he blocks them. You call them a boy, but then you run away like a boy. It's like you, if you want to be like, well, I cannot stand this guy that I'm about to name, but if you want to try to simulate like Jake Paul, if you want to kind of look like Jake Paul, then be ready to fight. Go work out, lift weights. It's like if you're gonna try to be in that, again, I cannot. Oh, I cannot stand Jake Paul, especially that whole like hour long thing he did for the Orange Man to get into office and everything. Like so many lies. This in my opinion, he is such an awful, terrible, bigoted, poorly educated fool, but I feel like maybe this guy is trying to get onto his level because maybe if he pretends that he's willing to get into the ring like this once upon a time YouTuber, maybe that will, put him out there and like help him with like social media stardom and things like that. That's my guess. But is it working? No, because all he can do is block. Well, okay, so technically that's a fighting move. It's the wrong kind of block, but he's blocking. It's a start, but maybe he needs to start YouTubing and looking up and going to gyms so he can practice actual blocking. Maybe try that. Maybe try that. But this is the Handicapable Black Woman. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human and you're human too.